What's going on, guys? It's the guys from the Coach's Vault. Before we even start, please hit that like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at the Coach's Vault, and then go ahead and check out our blog. Obviously, the Coach's Vault. That's basically where we're at all the time, anyway. Marcus just dropped something, so go check that out. Anyway, so the topics that we're going to be talking about today. So we're going to be talking about first the habits that lead to our success, or some habits that we believe will lead others to success through our own experiences. And then we will be also talking about how we mentally prepare for a lift, and is it different for different lifts, or do we usually just have one routine that we go into? Okay. But first, before we even talk about this, okay, we were just talking about it beforehand. Patrick Mahomes is fucking making $500 million within 10 years. Am I right? Is it like $500 million within the next 10 years, right? That dude is going to be 90. That dude is going to be, what is he like? He's like 25? Like, how old is he?
Maybe earlier than that.
24.
Yeah, he's like 24. He's making $500 million. Now, the question is, okay, first of all, you better put the fuck out, okay? Because that's, without a doubt, if you're a $500 million man, you better put out. And this, like, that's a lot of pressure. Number two, is he worth it? Okay, that's the question right there. Do you guys think?
Let's Leo. Let's see what Leo thinks.
Let's see what Leo thinks. Leo said it before. You might as well repeat it.
And I think he's completely worth it, especially in a day and age now where all these players, you better put up the money first, or they're just not going to play. And players, as maybe not so much in the NFL yet, but players dictate the sport. So if all your best players don't get paid and they don't want to play, the sport will dissolve. Like, it will 100% dissolve. So, but Mahomes is definitely worth the money. He won MVP his first full year starting, and then he won a Super Bowl within the same with his third year. So, I mean, and broke a bunch of passing records. He's with probably the best offensive-minded coach right now. He's got like the fastest receivers for at least another 2 or 3 seasons. Like, if he pulls off another 2 Super Bowl wins within the next 10 years, that's for sure worth the $500 million. The way that money is moving and the way that the salary cap will go up in the NFL, because it's all relevant.
Straight from the agent.
Relevant.
Oh my God, for real. No, that's crazy, man. $500 million for a 24-year-old kid, man.
Congrats to him,
insane.
that's big.
Hold up.
For real.
Let's look at Kylie Jenner. She got $1 billion at 21.
First of all, apparently that's falsified. And number two, who cares? Literally, they do absolutely fucking nothing. The Kardashians are not worth it. That's not worth even discussing.
Kris Jenner is the best business mind of the 21st century.
Okay, first of all, it's Caitlyn.
Kris is the mom.
They're all the same, bro. They're all the same with me. Why do they all have like a C or a K? Is this like the Crips Club or something like that, bro? Like, I don't understand. They're all a cult. I'm sorry. Go ahead, keep talking.
Sure, but
The Kardashian cult.
The Kardashian cult.
Monetized her own daughter's sex tape to like $1 billion TV show that's been going on for 15 years. Like, that's.
Yeah, I mean, it's mind blowing that.
Yeah,
sex sells. I don't know.
What are the habits that help us be successful?
Exactly. Make a sex tape. That's all we should be doing. Like, EP's next blog, Self Growth Sunday. I had a sex tape. Follow it. Go. Like, let's get this fucking jumping right now.
Hopefully it's not on Pornhub, Evan.
No. Yes. Let's not talk about Pornhub. Not Pornhub. No. Not Pornhub. Nah, man. I got a different list. We could talk. That would be my next Self Growth Sunday. Different porn sites. Number 1, not Pornhub. Number 2, the sex trafficking stuff. No, I'm just saying, it's just that.
The whole new meaning of Self Growth Sunday.
Yeah, the whole new meaning of Self Growth Sunday. It just turns into love. I don't know, bro. That shit's just crazy. That whole story was crazy. The what?
No, that was disturbing. That
whole shit's a bit crazy. So, I mean, Pornhub's gonna get shut down. Something's gotta go popping. So I'm just saying, Spank Bank. You're welcome. Okay. Anyway. Anyway, okay. Let's actually go back into the topic before I continue to make a fool of myself for the second coaches vote in a row. Okay. So, all right. Let's talk about habits that led to either our success or habits that we believe our followers can actually use that will lead them to success in whatever they want, either their fitness goals, professional, career, anything like that. So why don't we start this one off with Terrance?
So a big one for me, because I can get distracted really easily. I need to put the phone away. Just have it black, vibrate, face down, whatever the case is. Because even some periods, like I'll actually go and I'll delete Instagram and like social media off for just like a weekend, just because like I might go on and look for one thing, and then next thing you know, I'm on a rabbit hole for like an hour. So social media distraction is a big one for me. And another thing too, just pay attention to the circle that you're around. Right. So one of my favorite quotes I think we spoke on like early on when we was introducing ourselves to each other was I think it was a 50 Cent quote when he said, you only get as far as the people that you speak to for no reason. So if like a lot of your circle is just people who don't really speak of anything productive, people that really have like a lot of ambitions and goals, just people that you just normally associate yourself with, you can start like falling into some of those habits and some of that mindset that they may have and not even realize that you're like limiting yourself. So being around people who speak more, maybe it's business or self-growth, more like positive energy, or just simply people that can get you into different opportunities, so maybe sometimes just watching like what type of environments you're surrounding yourself in, the type of people that you're surrounding yourself in. The power of influence is strong. So the more you're around these type of environments, whether you think it or not, you're going to be influenced by it.
Yeah, for sure. Love that. Okay. Leo.
So habits that lead to my success, I kind of do two because they flow with each other. So number one, like starting off early in like my career, my relationships, whether it be my wife or like new friends and like a new environment, is saying yes to things. Obviously, if it's something bad, like let's go do this crystal meth, probably don't say yes to that. But saying yes to stuff that might make you feel
that was far to the left. I thought he was gonna be let's not say yes to watching Pornhub. I thought that's what he was gonna say, but he went straight to crystal meth. Like that was a question somebody asked him before. Like, no, I don't want to say yes to crystal meth, even though it's my time to say yes.
Bro, talked about sex trafficking. What crystal meth was next on the list of what?
It was.
But saying yes, because it gets you out your comfort zone. And like I said in all my posts and everything, there's no growth in comfort. So saying yes to a lot of things early, whether it be like your career, like if your boss is like, hey, you should be doing these things without him asking, but hey, I need you to go clean the toilets and you're a new trainer. Say yes, go in there, clean the toilets. Hey, I need you to work late Saturday. We got some clients coming in. Go ahead, say yes. Helps you establish yourself, helps you grow as a person because you are uncomfortable doing that. So eventually all those situations become comfortable. And like in a relationship with friends and stuff, especially like all younger people who are in college or fresh out of college or move to new cities, you meet a group of people and they're like, let's go out to eat at this restaurant. As much as you probably want to just chill out at home and watch Netflix, go ahead and say yes, because you never know like the fun you can do and the things you can learn from people. And then after a while, you kind of grow and you get more experience, and then you have to learn how to say no. So especially now being married with 2 kids, only 26, the job, my daytime job is running a construction business. I have to say no to a lot of things that I would want to do, like whether it be like, let's go grab drinks on a Tuesday, or let's go do this meth on a Sunday. Like you just have to say because they hinder your growth. They're actually going to take you.
Saturday, but would Saturday be a yes day if Sunday's a no day? This is where I'm getting confused on the lines that you're drawing.
Saturday's for the boys, so it's always a yes day.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. No, I agree. I agree with those two for sure. Just I think beginning with yes is very important. Like just going ahead and saying yes to things, especially getting out, especially like when you're going to something new. If anything's new, then you gotta say yes to it to make yourself uncomfortable. I 100% agree with it. But I think knowing the hardest part of that yes is understanding when no needs to be drawn in the line. Because I think so. Something with me, and this isn't one of my habits, but something that I'm learning myself is that I say yes a lot especially when it comes to my career. I say yes, like I'll come in and I'll do this, I'll do X, I'll do Y, I'll do this, and I'll do that. And what happens is it gets to the point where I continue to say yes, and then there's no line drawn. So then when I say no, it's the fucking end of the world. Like who else is going to do it because everyone's not doing it. So understanding where to put your boundaries, I think, is also very important. So what you're saying is 100% correct. I think for people, they have to understand that it comes with a balance. It's like, yes, you'll say yes to uncomfortable situations. That's 100% true. But say no when the feeling isn't right anymore, or say no when like this is the line I'm drawing. Like I'm not gonna do that shit, kind of thing. So,
and you grew from saying yes to your career early on, so that you have learned that feeling, and now you can say no. So
exactly. So it's kind of understanding that yes isn't forever, but you have to understand where the line needs to be drawn, and it has to happen before it becomes a problem. That's all I'm saying. All right, Dustin, what do you got for me?
So big one for me is, I mean, Evan, you know me, I don't talk too much in person. Maybe a few words, but listening, that's been a huge one. Just like you put in your article, being that blank slate, taking in all that information. When you walk into a room, you don't know anything. And then also not just listening when it's important or when it's crucial, listening when it's not, because even though somebody might not be saying something important or something smart, you can still learn from it. And just taking that time to listen, and then listening to the little things, the small details. Everybody can, listen to a big time coach saying things, but if you notice, like, if you're coming in for a certain time, just listening, paying attention, being there a little bit early, coming prepared. If they suggest having something, having that and more, and just paying attention.
For sure.
Little detail.
Yeah, listening's 100% underrated. That's actually so something that I'm gonna write in my article. Nobody steal it. I'm still writing one about communication. What people don't understand, the first form of communication is actually listening. And it's actually the most important one, because you can't clearly communicate anything if you don't understand what's going on. And the only one that understands is to listen. So I think that's big. Listening.
Reminds me of that quote: "Don't listen to respond, listen to understand."
Yeah, for sure. 100% agree with that. I think that's great. So I got a couple habits that I do. I think. For me, I think the big habit comes from a quote for me. Anything worth doing is worth overdoing. So doing things to a high level that doesn't need to necessarily ever be done to that level, but overdoing it anyway. If it's a minor detail, like it has to be overdone. Like it doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be close to it. Surpass people's expectations when it comes to details and pay attention to the details. But always, if it's worth doing, or if it's something you want to do, then why half-ass it? Why give it the bare minimum? It doesn't make any sense. Then it wasn't worth doing if you're gonna just half-ass it. So that's number one. Number two, I think being very self-aware and reflecting is probably like the newest thing for me. Not the newest, but kind of like maybe like within the year or two of actually like journaling and writing stuff that's been going on mentally with me, and always giving myself check-ins. I'm big on mental health and making sure that my energy is at a certain level at all times, because if my energy is on the download, I can't perform or I can't like help anybody. So always doing those check-ins, making sure that I'm writing like in the morning, afternoon, to kind of like give myself how I felt, like what can I do better, what can I improve on. I think the last thing that's important is always asking for feedback. Like even if it comes for you guys, like hey, like what can we do better? What can I do better to help you guys? And it's not, I mean, it's for you guys, but it's also for me because I've always like I have that itch to get better in everything that I do. And if it's a minor detail, maybe like say a word this way, or maybe let's change it to that. Like I think being open to other people's feedback, taking it as it is, like even if it's bad feedback, it's still good feedback. Yeah, maybe because you learn something from it. And I think the last thing is probably like leaning into that is understanding failure isn't really, well, mistakes isn't really failure. Like a failure is like a lesson, like in any way, shape, or form it is. Like if you fuck up, I learn from it, you move on, you clear it, you just go ahead and take that in. Trying to make those mistakes, like Leo said, say yes all the time and understand like when it's time to say no. Mistake, learn from it, move on. I think those are kind of my daily habits that I try to live every day, reflect, making sure I'm trying to get better every day, asking for feedback, and then using it for both myself and my clients and stuff like that. That's just me, honestly. But you guys got anything else? Any other habits that you guys can think about?
Not really a habit, but with both of y'all talking about communication and then Terrance talking about communication before we started Coach's Vault. I'm sure we said this like one of our first ones, our first meeting, but Dale Carnegie's How to Influence People and Win Friends is like a must for really anybody, but definitely like coaches or anybody in a sales type job or anybody that has to speak and listen all day. Like that is a book that will teach you how to properly listen. It's also a book that will teach you how to literally walk up to a stranger and have like an actual in-depth conversation past the, hey, how you doing? Hey, how's the weather? Like actually like speak to someone you've never met before. So if you don't have that on your list or anything, go ahead and add that to your list.
Yeah. And I think if I can add one more habit, it's literally reading 20 minutes a day. Anything and everything. And I like, if I've had intern questions like, hey, what should I be reading? And all that stuff, fucking everything. Read anything you can get your hands on. If that's reading, like, or if that's like a podcast, like podcast reading at this point in society is basically the same thing. Yeah. So any way you can get information, that'll probably be the hugest thing out of everything. But also practicing communication, because I mean, if we're all gonna talk about the same thing, basically, like I think that's the number one important thing that people don't realize how important it is understanding how to communicate. And again, communicating. So something I want to clear up, because it's been bothering me no matter what. Talking is not communicating. Okay. Talking is not communicating. That's just the bare minimum. People say I'm a good communicator, but talk so goddamn much. I didn't receive any of the information. You're a bad communicator. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Communicating is relaying a message from point A to point B. And if point B didn't get it, you didn't relay it correctly. You didn't communicate. You just talked. That's really all you did. So just understand the difference. And I'm gonna write. I have like this article is gonna be fucking fire. I'm just letting you know. I'm gonna be on. I'm gonna be on that. But I think that's a huge thing where people don't really understand how important it is. And like we talked about before, Terrance, like the psychology of understanding how to talk to certain people and how to relay a message to certain personality types or certain people that, especially like as coaches, like that's huge. Like if you can't communicate, and like Dustin said, Coach Hatch, like he sits in a wheelchair and he has to physically talk and like use a stick basically, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. He uses a stick and communicates in a fucking wheelchair, and he has some of the best Olympic lifters in the country. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's very important, is understanding how to communicate as coaches and practice it daily. Even if it's talking to random people like, hey, how you doing? How's the weather? You want to try crystal meth? It's Saturday, so yeah.
Wait, is it Sunday?
So Sunday, no. Saturday, yes. Yeah, Sunday you got to prepare. You can't go to work high, okay? but Sunday you have the day off.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, okay. All right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. Okay. So next question. All right, this is a Terrance question because it's a good question. Terrance has the best questions. Let's be 100% honest. Okay. All right. All right. How? All right. So he asked, how do we mentally prepare for a lift? And is it different for certain lifts, or is it the same like all around? Why don't we start backwards? And again, since I'm asking the question, I won't go first. Dustin will go first, and then I go after, so I don't copy anybody.
So for me, it kind of depends on the lift, because I mean, I'll run through my checklist for, you know, squats if I'm squatting, and then for a snatch or a clean, completely different. But for a snatch or a clean, especially if it's for a heavy attempt, I'll go through a couple mental reps and, you know, mentally see each position, feel each position, before I even walk up to the platform while I'm still sitting down. I'll have my, you know, music in. If it's my headphones, I'll have music going and focusing on that. And kind of just, you know, that visualization. If it's at like a meet or something, then there's nothing in my head. I kind of just go up there, grip it and rip it. Because if I, technique wise, if it's not there, it's not there. I can't change anything. Yeah, you can't change anything on a meet attempt. But yeah, and then for like warm-ups and warm-up weights and everything, just going through normal training session, kind of try and make everything the same mentally. I'll, you know, do that couple reps beforehand, walk up to the bar if it's, you know, 40 kilos or if it's 120 kilos, which I've only hit twice. But yeah, same thing, couple reps and then do it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So for me, I think music plays a big role into my lifts. So I'll start off. So like during the warm ups, I'll kind of like put some like old like 90s rap and kind of like get my head bobbing, get myself warm. All the lifts are kind of the same. So if I squat, bench, deadlift, like I kind of have the same mental routine and same routine. So I'll just get like a general warm up in. I'll like if I squat, like I'll activate the glutes. I'll maybe like I'll roll out my calves, the bottom of my foot. I'll do some ankle mobility kind of stuff to get myself warmed up for it. And I try to take each set. Like if there's an empty bar, like it feels like I want it to move exactly the same as an empty bar. Like I have that weight in my back, so I'm making sure I'm set, making sure I'm tight. And then after each set, I kind of adjust to what's going on. Like if my lat isn't firing, I'll go warm that up. Or if like I don't feel like I'm taking too deep of a breath or I'm not really stable, I'll go work on that. So after each kind of warm up set, I'll go ahead and do some activation. I'll do something regarding what I'm feeling. And as I kind of continue moving on, I'll kind of change the music tempo. I'll go up a little bit faster, go a little harder. I'm playing on some trap music at this point, like maybe like 85, 90% of whatever I'm going to do. And then I'm bumping that, put the belt on. And then again, like my weird routine, like belt, then chalk, not chalk, then belt. Then I have to start all over again. So it gets back into that the weird routines of my stuff. But I'm very ritualistic when it comes to like that. Let's say like that 80 to like 100%. If that shit don't feel right for how my belt is on or how my shoes or tightens, or if like I don't have shoes, or whatever, like if something doesn't feel right, then I gotta come back and take a mental rep, see visually what I did, like try to like visualize what I did wrong, correct it, assess it, and then go ahead and do it. But same thing with Dustin, like if it's a meet, like it's too late to practice that shit. Like you're there and you're already prepared as best as you can. You just gotta go. So I think a meet is all about, for that right there, is just all about what you know you're gonna warm up to. Going over there, go empty headed, just fucking picture. I'm more of a visual person, so like I picture what I'm gonna do beforehand, exactly what I'm gonna do. I go through the steps of how I'm gonna do it, set up exactly the same way as I normally do, and that's just the routine. So basically music, being weirdly ritualistic with my belt and my chalk, and then just going from there. That's just me. But let's go Leo, because you're weird as shit because you wear khakis to squat. But go ahead.
Active strength, man. So I do like my heavy attempts, whether it be at the gym or in a meet. It's just like, fuck it, if you're gonna die, you're gonna die. And I just
It's a great motto.
That is a great motto.
No matter what, when I go under any type of like 95% or above, like if it's my time to die, it's my time to die. And like I cannot remember where I learned this from. I'm sure it's from a bunch of people, probably Louis Simmons. But like if you have any fear or anything in your mind once you get under a bar, like you're done for.
Yeah.
So like, I've trained myself, and if you looked at my article on Friday, you can see that I fail under heavy weight all the time. But I attempt that heavy weight with no fear of failing. And if I fail, fuck it. If I fail, it is what it is. Like, the only thing I can tell you is never put clips on the bench if you're benching by yourself. Then you'll be all right. But no, that's always a fear. Is just fuck. If you die, you die. If not, you're good to go. So that's kind of always how I prepare for any big lift. And that's usually after that thought comes to my head after like I load the bar and I'm like, God damn, I don't feel like doing this right now. And then I'm like, oh, fuck it, let's go do it.
Yeah, I like how you just turn it off. You're just like, fuck it. Yeah, I mean, no mental prepare. You're just gonna, if you die, you die. It's fine. You got 2 kids and a wife, and then crystal meth. You probably warmed yourself up with crystal meth. It's probably that's probably what happens. It's like, oh man, I don't want to do this, and then you're ready to go.
Keep the back left packy pocket. So
that's right. He got a fanny pack, and then that's where all his shit is. It's not chalk, people. It's not chalk, people.
I was gonna say for those heavy reps, it's like a switch goes off, but no, it's just crystal meth.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Anyway, all right, Terrance, what you got for me?
Yeah, man. I like where Leo was going, just with that mentality of like, if you die, you die. That's just pretty much like in a lot of, like, I came from a powerlifting background, probably about 5 years deep. So a lot of people always be like, damn, man, like, how'd you get so strong and doing all that? And like, you just mentally gotta like turn that switch on. Like I always say, like, if you're trying to get into powerlifting or even Olympic lifting, which are like really strength dominant sports, if you have a fear of the weight on the bar, this is the wrong sport for you. This is not going to work, because at the end of the day, like, your goal is to keep getting stronger, which means the weight is going to keep getting heavier. The bar is going to keep getting loaded with more and more plates. So if you look at it and start getting anxiety and shit like that, if you better learn how to control your anxiety. Because at the end of the day, it's like your goal is to come in here and get stronger. So make sure that that fear motto goes right out of your back of your head. But when for each lift, like for squatting, I like in a sense of like music and shit like that, I actually like slower songs. So like slower songs, even sometimes even more deeper songs. For squatting, I find myself that I have to be a lot more like kind of like in a Zen mode and just like really, really deep focus. And especially with it being like the first of a powerlifting meet, sometimes you'll just get the anxious of just, making sure you're not bombing out or you're not going to be too high or, all that good stuff like that. You just want to get your first 3 white lights, get on the board, and then you start to get, a little more comfortable. But for squatting, for me, it was always more just like really, really deep thought, really, really into it. Kind of like that with deadlifting too, but a little more aggressive. So I would kind of be like a little bit more in kill mode for deadlifts. And for bench press, for me, I have to be super aggressive. I don't really go in too much with like the deep thought, like squatting and stuff. It was funny, even when we talked about this topic earlier, Leo was like, does clothes play a part? And I'm like, for me, it does. For some reason, like if I got on like gray sweatpants, I feel like I got superpowers. Like if I'm at the bench press and I got gray sweatpants on, and it's either a big hoodie or a wife beater. Either or. It's one of the two. It's no t-shirt. Do a t-shirt. It's either a hoodie on or with some gray sweats. It's impossible I'm gonna fail. Like, you know,
That's fair.
So serious.
That's fair though. That's fair.
And the gray sweats is like that for like all three of the lifts. But if I'm not in like big sweats or something like that, if I'm squatting or deadlifting, I like shorts with like my knees out. You know, but for bench press for the most part, I gotta be super aggressive. I got my sweats on, beater on, hoodie. I'm good. Usually my music is super like high tempo, super aggressive rap. For squatting, sometimes I used to squat to like R&B music. I needed something super, super mellow. For deadlifting, it would usually just be like deep songs, but not so much like slow, just like with maybe like really introspective type of music and things like that we're talking about, like real deep shit.
Adele.
You know, or
yeah. Did she just say Adele?
Adele. Hey, I be hitting some lists to Adele.
I hit
God.
PRs to Adele for sure.
No.
Yeah.
No. I can't be your friends no more.
For sure.
Dustin listens to Disney in the weight room, and then you guys listen to Adele. I can't be friends with you no more.
If you know the shit I did to Purple Rain by Prince.
No, it's weird. I was like, I walked into the weight room. First off, Christmas time sucked in the weight room because all you listen to is Christmas music. I feel like I'm back in a retail store. Like, it's just like I shouldn't be listening to this shit while I'm lifting. I'm sorry. I'm not doing that. Not Christmas. Okay? And then we get, this is, like, what were you were listening to Tarzan? I can listen to the Tarzan soundtrack. I'm not going to lie. Tarzan soundtrack is fire.
Also, Mulan. I'll make a man out of you. You can't beat
you can for sure listen to Mulan, bro.
Oh my God, no. Yeah, we're not listening to Mulan. Tarzan or Lion King, and that's it. Like, Mulan's a good movie, but I'm not gonna go fucking rep a PR like with Mulan going on. I'm sorry.
Me, man, come on, you ain't getting swept. You got a friend in me?
No. Oh, Toy Story. You got a friend in me. No, that sounds weird. And when you're squatting, you don't know.
That's what you do when you do 6 hours of biceps.
Exactly. You got a friend in me. Yeah, it's literally rhabdo. That's what you have for 6 hours after. You got a friend in me. It's called rhabdo. Hey. But yeah, no. I think it's interesting how music. Like, I think one of my final papers for one of my psychology classes in grad school was the effects of music that people have during lifting and how it actually helps and stuff like that. Well, I found that it does it. But also I'm not the best researcher in the world. And I copied most of it. But anyway, but yeah, so don't judge me, man. I got my master's degrees at the end of the day. It's fine. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, exactly. But it's just interesting how anxiety and like your heart rate and everything play a huge factor. I feel the same way that Terrance does. Like I think for me, like I have to go in kill modes for all three. But like again, like I start off like tempo and then I start increasing and then that music's fucking blaring by the time I'm ready to kill whatever I'm about to do. Like Dustin remembers that weight room was fucking loud as shit when we did Squattober. And when we did Squattober, man, if I didn't try to break that speaker, man, then I didn't hit the lift well. Like I have to like, and I think for me it's more when I'm on kill mode, I actually don't even listen to the music. Like I don't know what's going on or anything like that. Like I'm in full flow. It's literally there. So like I don't hear anything else except exactly what I'm doing. So it's more about focus than it is about listening to the song and stuff like that or whatever's going on. But that's 100% kill mode when I'm going ahead and doing that. And actually I have a my own mock meet on Wednesday, so we'll see how that goes.
Get it.
Yeah. So we're gonna hit some fucking PRs that I haven't hit in forever. So we'll get to see. But if you guys got anything else,
I was just gonna say that made me think about California Strength and Dave Spitz, what he said for Olympic weightlifting meets. Like you go in there and you snatch what you can, so do whatever, and then you get hyped up, get amped up, and clean and jerk what you have to. So
yeah, just about. Yeah, that's interesting though. That really is interesting. How that all. I mean, I might write a paper on that. Honestly, again, just like the effects of music has on like actually like anxiety and everything in lifting. But all right. Anyway, okay. If you guys got nothing else to talk about, well, let's end it there. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Boom.
Just make sure you set fire to the rain. Okay.
You said what?
Just make sure you set fire to the rain.
I'm gonna end it right there. Okay. Anyway.
How do you not know the Adele song? Come on.
No, I'm not listening to Adele when I'm trying to PR, man. It's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. We're gonna
At least listen to Purple Rain.
Yeah. There you go.
Purple Rain's a lifting song, bro.
All right. How about Chocolate Rain? Can I listen to Chocolate Rain?
Chocolate Rain.
That's a great. Like you got a Hershey's in the back of you over there, and you only listen to Chocolate Rain. That should be your ringtone, bro.
Holy shit!
Pull that out of my 8th grade brain.
Right? Oh man, that was such a good YouTube. I mean, when YouTube was started becoming big and stuff like that. Chocolate Rain, and he just like Chocolate Rain. He backed up every time to breathe. The dude
random shit ever.
He looked like he was 12 and he sang like he was 35.
Yeah, the deepest voice I've ever heard.
Oh man, that's hilarious. But anyway, okay, let's end it at Chocolate Rain. So this is all for the viewers we talked about before, but please like and subscribe if you watch all of our nonsense. Okay, go ahead and do that. Follow us on Instagram at The Coach's Vault, and then go ahead and check up our blog. Marcus just dropped something today, so I'm gonna be posting that on Instagram very soon. But thank you guys for entertaining us, and thank you guys for being on the vault tonight. Marcus wasn't here, so it would be remiss of me not to say that Marcus is a bitch while he's not here. So Marcus, you are a bitch. I love you. But just have to go ahead and say that once on every vault talk because it just wouldn't be the same.
You gotta be consistent, man.
It gotta be consistent. Consistency is key. Exactly. Just keep it the same the entire time. Anyway, all right. I'll see you guys very soon.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right, guys.